Alright, we're working on this Pathfinder again. 94 Nissan Pathfinder, air ride, body dropped. And we've got a lot of things done. We've shaved the doors, so now what we've got is some door poppers. Put those in all four doors. And we've also got some power mirrors going to go back on here. And we have power windows going in here. And I have to use a truck harness because I'm putting the 4-cylinder in. And we went through the harness and removed emissions and everything, and got the harness back in. This does start and run. I don't have a radiator yet, so I've not perfected the timing and things, but it does run. And now, since we put the truck harness, truck fuse block, and all of that in here, at this point we are going to have to add in the accessories that we want as aftermarket items. The fuse block, I'm just going to go ahead and just bypass the whole thing. So at the key, you have some wires coming out here, and these will be triggered at different times. One's battery, one will be the starter, one will be on, one will be accessory. Different wires do different things on that. So what we need to do is find the one that will be accessory, key accessory, and I'm going to run that down into a fuse block, and this relay will power that fuse block. I'm going to use that wire as a trigger. That wire, by using this relay, that wire will not have any real amperage being forced with it. So the amperage will be running through this relay, and the relay will be kicked on and off with the wire coming out of here. So there's no amp draw out of that wire. That is the safe way of doing this. All of your factory components will have relays. This is my door popper right here. I have a left and right, and then left and right. That'll be front and rear. And these have some big red wires coming out. This needs to be going to the battery because the key will not be on whenever I'm trying to get back in the vehicle. And whenever I push my button, it needs to open, because it would suck if it doesn't. I've busted glass out to get back in these. I went years without shaved doors because I just got kind of fed up. I went years without air ride because I got fed up. Just a lot of extra hassle. Anyway, this is the fuse block. I did an eBay search on pre-wired fuse block, 12 volt. Use those keywords, and I saw this with 6 relays and 6 fuses. So I have all those circuits that I can run to whatever I want. This one had 2 hots, which was pretty cool. So on this, I've grounded this, and then I put hot coming in one of these red wires. I'll pull this back off and we'll look in here. And with one of these red wires hooked up, that was the bottom 4, and I'm calling these here bottom. I was looking at it with the fuses to the left whenever I labeled this last night before I went to bed. So this red wire went to the top 2. These top 2 right here, and then the other red wire controls the bottom 4. I'm going to use 2 circuits with battery. So that will just go into a fuse no longer than 12 inches from my battery. My battery's under my back seat. I will not have a battery under the hood. I'm going to have an 8 gauge wire coming in from the battery and go over and around over here. I'm going to put my fuse, probably 60 amp fuse, right here at the battery no longer than 12 inches from that battery. Our wire will come over here to this, and then I will hook it up to the relay. I will also hook this wire to that relay. So this one will be power coming in, the same power that feeds the relay, which is fine. This one will be hooked to the other side of the relay, so it will get its power. So this is the wiring of the relay. It's a battery oscillator relay, so this is going to show 2 batteries, but the auxiliary will be the fuse block. So coming from the battery to that one, and then that will go to the fuse block, and I'll also run the other side of the fuse block off of this post coming directly from the battery. This will be ground, and then this one will be my trigger wire coming from my key ignition. And I'll figure out how to tuck that up under the dash and maybe tape those posts up to where nothing will ever touch. And I don't have my clutch pedal in yet, but it should all fit fairly easy. There's a hole up in there that I can probably fit this to. Alright, I'm gonna get to pulling wires, I guess. Oh yeah, I gotta pull the dash. I'm gonna pull the dash out and then pull some wires. Well, I've decided to maybe run a different wire up here to these, because really running it through this block, I could save that spot for something else, because it's kind of repetitive. This has got the relays and everything in it. I'm going to just run a wire off of a fuse up to these. That will also eliminate another relay that could go bad and cause me to not be able to get in my truck. It wouldn't hurt anything to run it through this relay and this block here, but I really don't want any trouble, so I will not double up on the relays. It's kind of overkill. But I do have this wired in. So I've got one coming from the battery, and then this one will feed the battery side of this fuse block. And then I've got my power coming in, and I've got my ground coming in. I could still feed these into right here where the hot comes in from the battery and to the fuse block. I might just do that, because this 8 gauge will carry plenty. I'll have a plenty fuse. I'm gonna run maybe a 60 amp fuse coming back to this. That's plenty. And most likely everything in this fuse block will not even be going. Nothing will be even working at the same time that I'm trying to use my door poppers. Maybe some LEDs or something, but just low draw. And I'll just do that. And also I've got this wire. This is my trigger wire that will come in from my key, and I'm gonna look and see which one of these wires that I need to try to plug into. Alright, went ahead and put all that together, and now I'm going to tape these up. I should be completely done here. So what I'm going to do is tape these up. I've got this rubbery type. This is, let's look, it is Scotch. It's electrical tape 2228. It's a rubber. Alright, so this stretches really well, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around these posts, and then I'm going to use some Super 33 Scotch, and I'm going to try to clean these cables up. I'll tie them up here and run some tape around that just to try to clean that up a little bit. I got my voltmeter set on 20 volts, and I've used this door pin right here for a ground, And I'm taking my red side and I'm probing in here, and there is a blue one down here that's the one that I need. So if I probe that and then turn this key on, right now we're at 0. I need 3 hands right now. Let's see what we can do. I'll turn the key on, and if you click over to start, it goes to nothing, and then starter off goes back up. Should be like 14 volts, but for some reason I'm reading 16. And that is accessory on, and then we're back off. So it's on with on, and it's on with accessory. So what I'm going to do is probe into this blue wire. I'm going to pull this down. This harness right here is where we're needing. So we're needing the blue wire out of that. I'm wondering right now if it would be easier to go in right here, or if it would be easier to go in up here. I think I'm going to go in up here in case I ever have to work on this. It would stay with the truck instead of with this plug that goes to the cylinder. So now I'm going to make sure that it does not change color. Where the middle one right here, and the middle one on this side is black with a blue stripe. And there's also another wire going in with that. It is black with a white stripe. I'm going to confirm this with the voltmeter before I go any further. And then I can tap into one of these other wires for my trigger. Them 2 guys right there, I'll probe them. Stick that in there through the skin of the wire. Make sure it's what we need. Alright, that was not right. The white one goes to the other side of the plug, so good thing I probed into that. The black one with the blue stripe, I'm going to pull it out a little bit here. I'm going to try to cut some of this back with the knife, and then I'm going to wrap my wire that I have pulled up here. This is blue with a black stripe. It's just a wire that I had on my shelf over there. Oh, there goes my light. Strip this back, wrap that around, I'll solder that, and then I'll tape it up real good. Okay, I've got that taped up really good. I used both of those 2 tapes, so it is thick and strong. Nothing should ever get into that. And whenever I turn the key off and on, you can hear it click. So we've got a fuse block that we can hook all of our accessories into that additional stuff, which will be power windows, power mirrors, and then I'm going to hook in some driving lights. I might go in with some underbody neons or something later on. So I'm gonna keep this video short and sweet, try to get this edited and put on, and I'm gonna get in here and see if I can put some body filler in a few things. And if y'all want to see more, then I'll see what I can get posted on. These videos are harder for me to make than the actual vehicle is to make. This is not in me to do this, but I do know that people struggle doing things. This relay goes to my air compressors back here to run my air ride. It's the same relay as what I put up here. They're very strong. They're 80 amp, and you can have a 60 amp because it's gonna be big enough. I might find an 80 amp fuse, but I'll stick all that together for this aftermarket fuse block. So, alright, hope you liked it. Talk to you later.